Hey, thanks for joining me. We're going to do an indie spotlight, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. I've got a lot of indie books that are kind of been waiting for to get looked at from a lot of great people, and I'm trying to find a way to and get time to look at them. And so I had this idea of doing kind of a rapid fire showcase of each of these certain books. Maybe like a quick video, 10 minutes maybe, where I show off the stuff. But what I do is I do them all in their own separate video and release all, a couple of them, like maybe three of them on the same day, just as separate videos. So the books get their own individual video and a little bit of a spotlight, but not all crammed together into one. I don't know. It's just an idea that I had. So I've got a couple of books that I have already looked at least once. Sometimes, in the case of this stuff right here, I've already done videos twice on previous issues for him. But I was going to show off in a rapid fire succession a couple of series of books that I've already shown off on the channel more than once. So we're going to start right here. Sundays in Space. For those of you who follow the channel, you've probably seen this when I do an indie comic spotlight. This is done by a friend of mine. And when I say friend, I mean someone who I've gotten to know through the channel, a guy who's commented on my stuff, a guy who's shown up on my live streams very often. He's picked up my fan comics. He did a pinup in one of my fan comics. He's just a guy that's constantly showing up and being very supportive. He's a very talented, very nice guy. He's got one of the greatest collections of like original art from artists that you know. I'll have the link to his social media. Go look at his Instagram and seek out the video clips that he puts where he's showing off the original art that he's collected. This guy collects up a lot of stuff. He even bought some of my own original artwork for some damn reason. I can't imagine why. Really nice guy. But besides all of that, he's one of the hardest working indie creators I've ever known. Like, so there's a single issue here, and then there is like a series, like a mini series. This is 1 of 6 and 2 of 6 here. I kind of lost count. I want to say maybe 5 or 6 books already besides these. And then he told me just recently he's done 2 more issues since he sent me these. Now, it has been a couple of months since I got these, but this man, Dan Goodwin, he just works on this stuff. He puts in time, effort, and prints up full color comics. I mean, the pinup on the back is black and white by choice, but the book is a full color thing. And again, I've shown these, not these issues before, but I have shown his books previously. And, he sends me new stuff. And the least I can do is put it out there and show people. Again, I'll have links to social media and stuff like that in the video so you can check it out. But yeah, Dan Goodwin, he seems to work almost exclusively with this Giovanna Plata, who's a fantastic colorist. And then you got a back cover by Harold George. And then there are... I'll bring it up close for anyone that wants to see. There are Instagram handles right there, so you can check him out. But Dan, he does this cartoony space adventure, and it follows a format that you'll see as we kind of flip through these real quick, where there's like a title page with like the title of the story and then a little kind of breakdown of what's going on, surrounded by junk and debris, and then we get into that story after that. And every time this thing here, the title of the story is there, it's something different every time. And then it's full color, hyper detailed. Again, it's very different. It's not like you're not reading an X-Men comic here. This is like a cartoony, more whimsical looking thing. I am constantly amazed at the level of detail that he puts into these books. It's so much. There's so much detail, so many varying characters, utilizing big sound effects. Now, I've talked about how when I tend to not like sound effects in my own comics, but obviously I'm not so dumb as to it's not like I don't understand that sound effects don't have their place where they work perfectly. He utilizes that type of stuff all over the place. It's just kind of astounding the level of work he puts into it. Then you get a pinup from another one of his buddies here. It's kind of got this like dot pattern. I don't know if it's going to show up in the video here, but from Peter Seckler. Instagram is Rabbit Fighters 13. It's kind of got like a dot pattern, like an old school newsprint look there. Really like that. And then again, you get a new title page. The Profit, the Loss. Again, different title treatment to start this chapter. And then off it goes into a whole new adventure with these characters. And again, he's got like, I'm not sure. I'm going to say somewhere around 10 books. So if you're interested in picking up some indie stuff, I'll have the link to this and you can seek him out. And then he does a whole thing where the pages, you have to hold them. The entire thing is formatted to look at it sideways. It's not my favorite way to have to flip through a comic just because it's kind of awkward. And that's not a judgment on anything that he's done here. It's an interesting kind of take. It puts the layout of the pages at a different angle. You get to play with the artwork at a little bit different kind of like approach. But just as I flip through these, as you can tell, like the amount of work that he puts into these, it's unbelievable. He's such a hardworking dude. I guess letters that have been written into him. There's a black and white pin up there. Again, post-credit scene. Again, the great, fun, bouncy fonts. Bunch of machine gun shooting, girl coming in with guns. So it's just really vibrant and pretty. He does some funny kind of advertisement stuff in the back there. Let me put that one out of the way. Let's pick up Sundays in Space, The Destroyers, 1 of 6. Back cover, Jim Mahfood. He's a professional artist. Dan Goodwin was able to get him and commission him to do a pinup of his characters for the book right here on the back cover. And so it's got these animalistic characters that are in the book, but drawn in a different style. I love that thing. That looks awesome. And then the kind of the flat color tone on it. That is so cool. But, yeah, special guest Jim Mahfood on the back cover with a pinup by Gayton. I know this fella. This is another buddy of mine from the YouTube channel. Known him for several years now. Like I've met Dan Goodwin through the channel. I know Gayton. I know kind of peripherally through Dan. I know Giovanna. So it's just neat to see these different pinups in the same book. I like how this one's a little bit different with a kind of a grayscale story. East 059. Again, that title treatment is such an interesting kind of framing device for each one of his stories. But, and one thing that's interesting that I've come to see is, as far as I know, he's still doing it. Most of his work and all of this stuff is done digitally. He's a great digital artist. But then as I was watching his Instagram, he switched over to drawing on paper and ink, pencil and ink on paper, like I do, like old school. And what's crazy is, to me, it all looks the same, meaning like he's very used to doing digital art. But once he jumped back onto paper, he didn't lose a step. It still looks just as interesting and clean and vibrant. And I'm like, dude, this stuff looks amazing. And he responded telling me, he's like, thanks, all he sees are the mistakes and the things that he couldn't change because it's not digital. And I'm like, well, of course you see that, sir. Anybody who draws on paper, we all know, sometimes you put a mark down and if you can't white it out or undo it, you're stuck with it or you're redoing the entire page. Like, we've all been there. But he moved on to drawing on paper, and it still looked incredible, from someone who was so used to doing digital and then just jumping over to physical paper. It's incredible. There's the pinup by my friend Gayton. Again, the animalistic characters, really interesting shot. I love the grayscale on it. I love the composition of like the pipe coming down up there. It's just great. I love this stuff. This framing devices are so cool. But yeah, just an interesting kind of grayscale approach to this story with some spot color. Like, look at the amount of detail. Look at how much time and effort is put into this stuff. It's crazy. And then he's doing interesting thing with panels and sound effects. God, I just love it. hyper detailed. And then he does this thing because there's like this tournament thing, and these people have these different knives, and so these are famous knives throughout knife hockey history. It's a sport called knife hockey. Who wouldn't want to go watch knife hockey? So he gets here and has blades that have their own names, their distinctive designs and styles, and then kind of a breakdown of where they've been and what they've done. And look at the three-dimensionality of this blade. Like, I think they all look awesome. But, you know, it's a very three-dimensional square shape and weird devices, things going through it, notches in it. It's so well drawn. I love that stuff. So, God, I just love that back cover by Jim Malfoy. It's so cool. And then the final issue out of the ones that I have here, Sundays in Space, The Destroyers, 2 of 6. You got a back a pin-up. I'm trying to... I don't see a name on it. It'll say on the inside. Special guest, Cute, on the back cover. And it's just an Instagram handle of Cute M. Coltress, if I'm saying that right. So go seek out that person. Pinups by Philip McVan, Joey Jeba Green, and Elena oh God, I'm going to mispronounce that name, so I'm just not even going to try. But yeah, all names like pinups that you can go seek out the creators on these books. I love this splash page with like this body of the guy lying on the ground and his intestine guts just blown out all over the ground there. The story so far. Again, this big, bubbly, kind of whimsical, bouncy lettering fits his stuff so well. It's funny because it's a cartoony looking thing, but it also gets extremely violent. So it's a really interesting kind of back and forth with the style. And again, he's experimenting, trying different things, but man, does he have stories he wants to tell, and he puts in the effort and just cranks out these books of his own series like a man possessed. And like respect. There's a pinup from Philip McVan. Again, kind of gruesome looking. It's like cutesy, but also creepy. Sunday Night Showdown. Again, great lettering. And so it's knife hockey, right? So it's a big kind of violent tournament. Burst. Zoom. God, just the amount of time and effort he puts into this. Look at this giant double page spread with big characters. Contract renegotiation, red. God, this grayscale is kind of a style that I would kind of like to have in my own books. That's something I could get into. There's a pin up there from Joey Jeba Green. Very cool, very cool. But yeah, you kind of get the vibe. Like you kind of understand what you're seeing. God, look at the sound effects, the words, the lettering. Just emphasizing the story. That's really cool. And these big giant splash pages. How much effort's put in there. And then this one from the Elena Sariscolia. If I probably butchered that. Very moody shot. And then again, there's more of those famous knives throughout knife hockey history. Just so well done. The details on it. It feels like a very physical object. So anyway, again, just going to rapid fire through some of these. I kind of had like a 10-minute-ish, time set in my head for these, but I'm going to release probably 3 videos in one day. This is going to be the first one. But Dan Goodwin, he's just amazing. Talented guy, hardworking guy. So I'll have links in the video for his social media. Go seek him out, check out his work, grab some of his books, support a guy. He makes a lot of books. He cranks them out, and it's pretty awesome to see. So that's all I got for part 1 of Indie Spotlight Day. So that's all I got, and thanks for joining me. I'll see you on the next one.